Hey everybody, and welcome back to Blender. In this episode we're going to be looking at how to use some shortcuts and menus. Before I get started, a huge thank you to everyone for subscribing and hitting that notification icon. That really helps me out. And of course, massive thanks to my members and patrons. Your names will be running across the bottom of the screen at the end of the video. If you are interested in supporting the channel, feel free to visit the Patreon in the description below or join the channel by hitting the join button next to the subscribe button. So let's get started then. So all of our options that we played around with in the last episode can easily be accessed by using Blender's search function. In order to do that, we can simply hit the F3 on our keyboard, or alternatively, if you come up to the edit option and the top menu, you will find menu search is there, and of course F3 is there. So we click on that, and then you can see if we type in add say cone, what you can see is various options there, and if we want to add a cone, we simply go to mesh, cone, boom, add it, and there we go, we have a cone. And now that we've got our cone in our scene, we can simply hit the move tool there, and we can click on any of these parts of the move tool and we can move it around the scene. So if we go back to our edit menu and our menu search menu, let's type in add monkey. Yes, weirdly there is a mesh, a primitive mesh for a monkey in there, and if we look at this, what we can see is we've got an actual directory, or rather a breadcrumb list of where that is. So we're in the 3D viewport, we're looking for add or shift A and then mesh and then monkey. So if we look for that, we're in our 3D viewport. So if we go to add at the top here, and as you can see when you hover over it, it tells you what the shortcut is. So if we press shift A, you can see that that appears there, and then in the next part it said mesh, and then in the list of meshes you can actually see monkey. So if we click on that, boom, our monkey head has appeared in the scene like so. The shortcut for the move tool, if we hover over it, we can see that it's shift spacebar G, and the rotate tool is shift spacebar R. So if we make sure that we are selected in our scene, press shift spacebar R, and you can see that we have the rotate tool there, and we can just spin our little monkey around. And then if you press R again, you can change the type of rotate to an arc rotate like that, and that gives us different options to be able to rotate our primitives nice and easily. And of course, if we hover over, we can also see S is for scale and T is for transform. So if we press, we've got our little monkey there, if we press S, we can now change the scale of our monkey's head, and P just allows us to do transforms. But look at that, that's a big old monkey's head right there. If we're in the scale tool, when we have our tool selected, we can actually hit X to scale along the X axis, we can hit Y to scale along the Y axis, and we can hit Z to scale along the Z axis, just to make things a little simpler for ourselves. And if you want to get super funky while you're in scale mode, you can have X, and then if you hold down shift Y, you can actually scale it on two axes at the same time, which is pretty funky, I think you'll agree. Blender's a massive shortcut factory. If you are a fan of those, then you're going to love this software. It just makes life a lot easier if you know them all, but obviously that is going to take you a lot of practice to be able to memorize them. Another really handy function that you can make use of is the favorites function. So let's say we want to continuously add lots and lots of cubes to our scene. We can go to add mesh cube, and if we right click on it, we can go to add quick favorites. Now whenever we want to add a cube, we can simply hit Q and we can hit on cube, and there you go, another cube has entered the scene. And we can use our move tool, move that around. Anytime you add a new object in Blender, it's going to appear where the 3D cursor is. And the 3D cursor is this little life preserver looking object here in the center. And you can think of it as pretty much a cursor in any other piece of software. If we hold down Shift and we right click, we can actually put it where we want it, or we can drag it around the screen. And now if I were to hit Q and add a cube, it's going to appear over there. And then let's just say we want one over there as well. As you can see, it pops it where I've told it to by where I've put the 3D cursor. Another handy thing that we can do is if you just hover your mouse over the right hand side of the tools menu there and you drag it across, you can actually open that right up, and then it will have the words there, tell you what each one does, which is of course very handy. And what you can also do is in the top corner here, you'll notice that there's a little caret there. You can drag that across and then that opens up the transform tab, or you can simply press N to open and close that. And you'll notice that what I can do is I can select an object and I can actually transform it along the axis. I can rotate it on those axes and all that sort of thing. So this is a really handy little menu to know about. And then there's a lot of other useful stuff that you can do in there as well. So loads and loads of functionality, really easily, all at your fingertips. Finally, the last thing I want to talk about is the properties search option. As you'll notice here in the properties pane, you've actually got a search bar. And so let's type in collections, for example, and it will actually bring up anywhere where collections are mentioned, and it will take you to the menu. So if we wanted to add an object to our collection, then we can simply do that using that, and that basically will give you quick access to any of the properties that you want to access in Blender. So I hope you found this video useful. As you can see, there's loads of really cool innovations here, loads of really cool options, and things just make your life so much easier. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. I will see you in the next episode, but until then, you take damn good care of yourselves, okay?